Hi guys, welcome back to Breaking It Down with David, the show where we take complex spiritual ideas, shake them down, and pull out the wisdom that actually works in everyday life. Today, we're diving into a conversation that's long overdue: critical thinking in spirituality. Now, hold on. I know some people already hear critical and get defensive, but this isn't about criticizing God. It's not about losing faith. It's about using the mind God gave you to go deeper in your spiritual walk, not just wider in tradition. Critical thinking means asking, is this true? But in spirituality, it goes further. Is this true? Or is it just familiar? Is it divine? Or is it dogma? Is this God? Or is it me projecting my fear? You see, critical thinking in spirituality isn't rebellion, it's refinement. It's spiritual maturity to be able to say, God said it, but did God really say it? Or did a person with a microphone say it? This is where your real spiritual growth begins, not in blindly agreeing, but in discernment. Let's break it down. Why do most people shy away from questioning spiritual beliefs? One is fear of hellfire. You ask a question, and someone immediately says, be careful, you're going to backslide. But here's a question: did Jesus rebuke questions, or did he invite them? He often answered a question with a question. Another is cultural pressure. In many African settings, questioning the man of God is seen as disrespect. We forget men of God are still men after all. You can honor someone's office without surrendering your mind. And finally, spiritual laziness. Let's be honest, some people want God to be a genie. They don't want to think, they just want to sow seeds and get rewards. But divine intelligence doesn't bypass your brain, it wants to partner with it. Now let's take a walk east. The Buddha was a prince. He had everything, but he wasn't satisfied. He walked away from comfort, not to find another religion, but to understand why suffering exists. And he didn't just accept what the teachers told him, he questioned everything. He sat in silence, he observed nature, he meditated, he asked, what is truth and what is illusion? Doesn't that sound familiar? Test all spirits to see whether they are from God. 1 John 4:1. That's the same principle. Critical thinking exists in all great traditions. Buddha taught, do not believe anything simply because you have heard it, but only after observation and analysis. Now, let's come back home. How many times have you heard, if you give 70,000, God will give you 7 million? You must do this ritual exactly, or you'll be cursed. Don't ask why, just obey. Let's pause. Who benefits from unquestioning faith? Sometimes it's not heaven, it's hierarchy. Spiritual manipulation is real, guys. This is where critical thinking protects you. Faith without thought becomes fantasy, but thought without faith becomes cold intellect. The key is the middle way. Test all things, hold fast what is good. 1 Thessalonians 5:1. Let me give you a few red flags. You feel guilty for asking questions. You rely only on your pastor, imam, guru, or spiritual teacher for answers. You think doubt is sin. You confuse fear with reverence. You believe signs and wonders are proof, even if the teaching is off. Friends, even magicians can perform signs. But you see the truth remains, whether it's popular or not. Now, let's flip the scripts. Jesus questioned the Pharisees constantly. The prophets challenged kings. Paul debated thinkers in Athens. The Buddha left tradition behind. African mystics often challenged colonial religion with native wisdom. So the most spiritual people were also the most critical thinkers. They didn't follow blindly, they followed bravely, and it made their faith authentic. Here is what you can use right now to grow your spiritual mind. 1 is reflective journaling. After a sermon or a teaching, write: what moved me? What didn't sit well? What am I assuming? Another is sacred silence. Many answers come when we sit quietly and let spirit respond rather than react. Another is also balanced inquiry. Ask spiritual mentors, where is this in scripture? Can you explain the origin of this teaching? A real teacher welcomes questions. A manipulative one will guilt you. Finally, cross-reference traditions. Compare teachings. You'll be amazed how many truths overlap between the Bible, the Tao Te Ching, the Bhagavad Gita, and even Ifa wisdom. Let's end with this. In a world of noise, hype, and deception, you are responsible for your own spiritual clarity. Yes, trust God. Yes, be humble. Yes, honor your tradition. But also think, reflect, ask, and discern. Because the mind is not your enemy in faith, it's your companion. So, go ahead, break it down. Don't be afraid to ask why. Because when you do, you don't become less spiritual, you become unshakable. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.